tuga-tuga, wala diha, wala mo'y kabuga. Dugot na linong at bugaw tanaw. Walin nyo na itong kapira kalaw. Wamoy mga inungdan kapae, wamoy aging kape. Kaya pag-apil-apil ko, wamoy mga vitamin.
Sipalay beachfront. Firemen putting out an invisible fire. Ridiculously loud, stupid music playing from the speakers outside a closed marketplace. Anything strange about all these things? But we live in a strange, strange world, don't we? There is a storm on the way, as there normally is in the Philippines. It's like pick and mix. You don't know what's gonna come. What kind of storm are we talking about here? Well, it's going to be a Christmas storm, Connor. Because it's close to Christmas, so we got you a nice little Christmas storm. Oh, that's grand. A shit ton of rain, maybe. Some horrendous wind. Here we go. Another dog convention. It must be nice being a dog in a place like this. Waking up in the morning and thinking to yourself, I might just go down and meet the lads on the beach. Maybe sniff some bums. Very quiet, like yesterday in Down. Walking up and down the beach at 6 o'clock. Any other beach in the world, you'd have people running up and down in the morning time, but not here. Look at that. 3 engines, not just 2. Where would I go if that was mine? 7,641 islands altogether, so plenty to choose from. Maybe someday I'll get some kind of boat and it'll change the Philippines experience in its entirety. Let me see, I'm 5 hours from bacolod, so it'll take me 5 or 6 hours to get home. I'll do it casually, stopping here and there for coffee. Yeah, it's kind of, if it keeps up like this, it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, third time lucky, my phone kept on overheating. So Shane lands in and he meets me outside the Irish equivalent to the 7-Eleven, and he asks me, so what can I do for you? I said, can you go into that shop now and get me 2 cans of cider? So he goes in, he gets me the 2 cans of cider, I scull them, and then I'm able to think, would you say straight? I'm able to think a little bit differently for a couple of minutes till I catch my breath, and I say, I don't need a fancy hotel, I don't even need a couch. Can you find out which cheap hostels are open? Because any time I had looked for hostels before, all the hostels that I used to know 10 years ago, they've all been turned into homeless hostels, and I don't qualify as a homeless person, so they don't let me go in there. So he gets onto his girlfriend, and his girlfriend starts ringing around, and meanwhile myself and himself walk back up to his car, and he's only driving this beautiful Audi, probably worth about 80,000, 90,000. Well, his Audi was clamped. So that gave us enough time to sit down, have a smoke. I think he was having a joint, or maybe I was having a joint. I can't remember. Did we drink another can of cider? I can't remember that either. But within about 20 minutes or thereabouts, his mother, his girlfriend rang back and said, "There's a hostel on the other side of town. I checked you in. You can drop him over there." And in my head, where I had a different kind of feeling of imposter syndrome, I thought they wouldn't let me in. They wouldn't let me into any hostel the way I am. And sure enough, Shane had brought in what I had asked him to bring in: some clean clothes, a freshly ironed shirt, toothpaste, toothbrush, and a pair of boxer shorts. So he opened up this expensive Audi, pulled all that stuff out. I put on the clean jeans, put on the shirt, felt like $1 million. We went over to this hostel, we're ringing the doorbell. Your one comes on in the intercom and says, "Sorry, no, this is an emergency hostel. Frontline workers only are allowed stay in this hostel. If you're not a frontline worker, you're not allowed stay here." And myself and Shane looked at each other, burst their shits laughing. I'm definitely a frontline worker. I've been on the front lines now for the last I don't know how long. And Shane's a lawyer, so he's definitely a frontline worker. And maybe we were about as high as a kite, but they didn't let us in. And he had to wait about 2 weeks to get a refund. But sure, he just drove me back around the other side of town. His missus was on the phone again, and then she booked me into the Kinley house. And we got up to the Kinley house, checked me in. I had my own room for 10 days, and then about 2 days later I got my sobriety back. Outskirts of Hinnigaran now, the far side. I stopped off in Mila's and got my steak. What is it? Steak and pork on a stick and 3 eggs. I'm on day 11 or thereabouts of the carnivore diet, so I'm doing pretty good. The bill was picked up by Cecil, who's Kay's sister-in-law. Here, look, there's probably a lot of wind there. I'm not sure how this is going to come across. My phone is telling me once again that it's heating up. So when it tells me that it's heating up, what it means is that I've got a ghost inside me. That's what my phone is telling me. The ghost of Patrick Swayze is right inside me. So this is the last day of my little trip. It was fierce stormy there when I left sipalay this morning. There's a good chance that there's a storm on the way, so we'll have a nice Christmas storm. And who knows, maybe we'll have a snowy New Year's. Very unlikely. So that's it from me, guys, over and out on this particular trip. The next trip I'm taking, I'll be going to Japan. Woohoo!